Welcome back to Bandwagon fans. I'm Jeff.
I'm Waylon.
And we're going to be talking about Avengers Infinity War. Now, I've already done a non-spoiler review. There'll be a link to that in the description below. So we are going to go straight into spoilers.
Mega spoilers.
We're going to spoil the hell out of this thing. Before we get into spoilers, just your overall impression of this.
Wow, it's just more. Just more of everything.
More. I said it was. I described it as like the most Marvel.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is it.
and thinking about it more, this might even be the most DC Marvel movie.
It's just the most superhero Marvel movie so far.
So where do you want to start at the end, or do you want to work our way up to that?
Let's start from the beginning. Just work our way through it. I guess. I don't know.
So very beginning. Let's go. So the script does not waste any time.
No, it's
maximum efficiency.
It's extremely lean. There's not much fat on the bone anywhere. Yeah, I mean it's extremely efficient. And
they let you know the stakes right away.
Yeah.
Right. So the movie opens up. Exactly where Thor Ragnarok ended. Mm-hmm. Like 10 minutes. So Thor Ragnarok ends with them seeing Thanos' ship.
The Asgardians basically fleeing.
Yeah.
Or trying to flee.
And they see Thanos' ship, and Infinity War obviously opens up about 20 minutes later. And everybody's wiped the fuck out.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it was a battle. It was just a slaughter.
Yeah, it was so. Thor is laid out. Hulk is somewhere, but we don't really know where he is at first. Mm-hmm. Heimdall is beat up. Loki is Loki. Loki's Loki.
Just trying to play a shitty hand.
Yeah, and. Loki and Heimdall dead.
Yeah,
gone.
And I think with Loki we kind of I had an inkling. Tom Hiddleston's been kind of making noise to the effect that he'd kind of like to wrap up his part. I mean, he's had fun with it, but he's done quite a few of these movies, but I thought it was handled well. You know, it definitely the whole scene fit the character.
Yeah, it was.
Double dealing to the last.
Yeah, and trying to redeem himself, and it was the way he died. Thanos crushed him, and it was
left he was a doll.
For a movie that kids, people plan on bringing their kids to.
Yeah, far as MCU movies go, this one is pretty pretty grim.
I want to think you heard the snap in his neck, or I might have just imagined that.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, it was done without much fanfare.
Yeah, it was, and he had blood coming out, a little bit of blood coming out of his nose. Mm-hmm. You saw a close up of his lifeless face, and then Hulk comes out, and Hulk just gets wrecked.
Oh yeah, it's completely one-sided.
Yeah. Thanos beat Hulk out of the movie.
Yeah, literally. He's hiding inside Bruce Banner. So, sulking probably.
So what do you see? So there's been talk between Mark Ruffalo has talked about him and Kevin Feige have had this plan of a 3-movie arc of the Hulk, going from Thor Ragnarok, now Avengers Infinity War.
Not much in this one, but
if you were going to take his storyline in those 3 movies, and
it's interesting.
Act 1, this is Act 2, where everything looks gloomy, right? Everything is bleak. So now we can expect to see Act 3 in Avengers and Avengers 4.
And in these movies, we have yet to see Hulk where it's dialed all the way up. We have yet to see Hulk where he's completely unleashed it,
and that's probably what we're gonna see.
I'm guessing
in Avengers 4.
Yeah,
Hulk unleashed.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, anyway, without kind of getting off into the weeds on that tangent, but yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of these movies is they're not.
It's nothing but tangents.
Yeah, they're when I was doing my non-spoiler review, one of the things I talked about, the challenge of talking about this movie, especially not being able to talk about spoilers, but two, there's no other movie franchise where the story jumps from one movie to another the way this
you can't
does.
really talk about part of it without talking about the whole. You can't. Yeah,
and Hulk is a really good example of that. They can't do it. They can't do an individual Hulk movie because Universal still has the rights. So they're making an individual Hulk movie spread out over all these other things.
I like Hulk better as part of an ensemble. Anyway, he really he's more of a weapon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Brute is never a compelling protagonist.
No.
So anyway, that's the opening of the movie. And I don't want to go like beat for beat through the movie, but just kind of
like getting the major beats.
Yeah. But what's important on the beginning is it established the stakes. It established Thanos as one of the strongest villains, not just in Marvel, but any movie.
Just they want to like set the tone from the get-go that this isn't somebody to be trifled with.
Thanos whooped. So we've had Hulk versus Thor in a couple versions now. Thanos just smacked them both to nothing, and we get introduced to the Black Order.
His underlings.
Or they don't in this they're only referred to as the children of Thanos. Thoughts on the children of Thanos?
Those are characters I wasn't terribly familiar with from the comics, but
they're new.
Yeah, they're newer. But I gotta say, like, just seeing the art, the way they're depicted in the comics, man, they look good. I mean, and I gotta say, as a whole, Thanos and all of his minions, phenomenal motion cap CGI, some of the best I've seen.
Well, only a couple of them I think were motion capped.
Well, Josh Brolin,
two of them, Thanos obviously
it's
is
performance capture.
You have Ebony Maw was probably mocap, and Proxima Midnight definitely was.
Yeah.
But Corvus Glaive, I'm pretty sure that was all practical.
Yeah. Okay.
And the fourth one, I don't remember the name of the fourth one.
But what I'm getting at is they all looked fantastic.
The Proxima Midnight. So Proxima Midnight is the priest type character.
Yeah, he's kind of like his. From what I understand, just from reading a little bit of backstory of the character, he's kind of like also his minister of propaganda.
Yeah. You could have made him. He was so good. He could have been the main villain in just about any other movie.
He gets a decent amount of screen time for an underling.
Yeah. He's the first of the children to die, to be wiped out. Which, jumping forward a little bit, that was a pretty funny scene.
Yeah.
Right. Spider-Man was like, "Hey, have you seen Aliens?" And I think a lot of people are like racking their brain trying to remember what the reference was.
Have you seen a really old movie called Aliens?
Yeah.
Kind of a callback to Civil War.
Did you know where they were going right away with it?
I figured it out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
The Queen Alien up the hatch.
Yeah. So that was fun. Man. So
the gags in this movie were absolutely great. Like there some really standout ones. Rocket giving Thor the Ravager's prosthetic eye just killed me.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Well, everything with Rocket Raccoon and Thor was priceless.
That was pretty good.
The whole what he kept calling him, Sweet Rabbit. Oh man, that was like such. There are so many different ways you could have paired these cast members. Yeah. But putting Thor with the raccoon, I don't think any matchup.
No, that's probably not one I probably would have scripted, but it worked.
Yeah, you might have expected like Thor and I want to say Baptista, but Thor and Drax. Thor and Peter Quill, their interaction
was funny.
Was great.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I am the captain of this ship. You will not take my ship.
Yeah. I gotta say, they did a really nice job of bridging the tone between like Guardians of the Galaxy and the other movies. They kind of met halfway, and it didn't seem crazy out of place that the quips as soon as they hit the scene.
Somebody else had mentioned this. I heard somebody else mention that they use the score to kind of introduce each different setting. Mm-hmm. So they, Guardians of the Galaxy come on.
As soon as I heard Rubber Band Man, I was like, oh wait, that's probably his mixtape.
Yeah, and then Black Panther's theme would come in. Mm-hmm. And then, and overall, just a quick note for the score and Mark Silvestri's score, that the Avengers theme would pop in periodically, and it was every time it was just like it lent a gravitas to the whole thing.
Yeah,
really good score.
Mm-hmm. Unobtrusive, but it worked for the movie.
Yeah. Man, there's so many different directions to go in.
Well, let's see. Let's just kind of try to focus on the main beats.
So one of the two characters that really got a big push in this movie was Vision and Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Did you buy their romance?
Well, I did because it had been 2 years.
It was introduced in Civil War.
They were just starting their relationship. In that movie, and I bought it. 2 years is a long time, the same thing with how ragged Cap and his crew looked. Yeah. Like they all looked like they'd been rode hard and put away wet.
Speaking of Captain America, throughout the entire MCU, Captain America has been my favorite character. Mm-hmm. And
probably mine as well. I really like him.
Yeah. Captain America and Black Panther were so underused in this movie.
Yeah.
And I get why they had to do it, because there were other things.
I mean, they had a movie. Those two had a movie to themselves already.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And that was kind of the juggling act that Joe and Anthony Russo had to do, was put the spotlight on some of these guys. War Machine got some great moments.
And it's about damn time.
Yeah.
It's I like seeing those second and third tier characters get a little bit of time in the spotlight.
What War Machine he just let loose at the big
the carpet
battle.
bombing. Yeah. I always like
it reminded me of Apocalypse Now or Tropic Thunder. Like it just like
yeah,
that was great. So the reason it bothered me with Captain America though is we know. So, and I talked about this a lot in my non-spoiler review, mm-hmm. although I couldn't say what I was talking about. We know it's coming to the end with Captain America.
Yeah.
Chris Evans is
winding down his contract.
The Avengers 4 will be. It's got to be the last time we see Chris Evans.
Yeah.
So, and I wanted.
You want as much time with him as you can before he goes.
It's like somebody's dying and you want to enjoy you don't want to leave that person. But
what I did like about the way he's portrayed in this movie is the core is still there, but a little of the idealism and some of the shine is off.
He's a little more practical.
He's just tired.
Literally, the white star.
Tired.
The white star was blackened out.
Yeah, he's just a little disillusioned, I think, by everything he's seen.
More resolute, more practical.
He's not going to waste time negotiating if he doesn't think it's going to go anywhere.
So, all right, one stupid, don't sweat the stupid shit, but there's just one I just want to kind of poke fun at.
Sure.
So we're supposed to believe that for 2 years, Tony Stark has kept that flip phone in his pocket and keeps it charged up. Like he doesn't have to run home and dig it out of a drawer to call Steve Rogers. It's just there, and he charges it every day.
You know what I mean? Oh my God! If we even start on that,
I'm just poking fun. If you're gonna watch a movie like this, you have to you have to allow the writers and the directors room to just...
More than any other genre of story.
You got
to be able to overlook plot holes with the superhero story, the superhero genre. It's just, it's part, to me, it's like, it's some people might see it as a flaw, but it's part of the charm.
I was just about to say, those are the love marks on a girl or woman you love. You know?
Right.
And everybody else is like, that looks bad, but you're like, it's part of, it's part of
mine.
What I like about her.
Yeah.
So all those little silly things. Oh man. So the jokes were really good.
Yeah. Didn't get too much of Winter Soldier either.
Yeah,
and they kind of foreshadowed it, but he didn't really get a whole lot of lines.
Winter Soldier, yeah. Well, I mean, Captain America, man, I think you can count on two hands how many lines he had.
True.
But Winter Soldier, not only, I think somebody who has
Black Panther didn't have many lines.
Black Panther had nothing.
Yeah.
And I think
there's probably going to be a lot of people riding high off that movie going, what the hell?
But Black Panther didn't, but Wakanda
did.
Shown.
Yeah.
You know,
Shuri had a pretty integral part to this movie.
Yeah, Shuri was highlighted, Okoye was highlighted.
Yeah, they had some good lines too. Okoye had a couple of good, decent, funny lines.
Again, we weren't
a good straight woman. We
weren't expecting her and Black Widow to interact, but they played off each other incredibly well.
Yeah.
But again, I kept, especially the first time I watched this, I kept thinking, if this was my first time watching an MCU movie, how lost would I be?
And I got to tell you too, and we were talking about this right after the movie, is if you're not into these movies by now, this one's not going to change your mind.
No.
You know, it's even more like those other movies than the first ones were. So
yeah, this is not.
It's pure 100% concentrated MCU.
Yeah,
uncut.
This is not the place to start.
No.
Speaking of which, tomorrow I'm going to be watching this again tomorrow. I just got confirmation from my friend.
Oh.
So I'm going to be watching this tomorrow with my friend Scott, who has never seen an MCU movie.
This should be fun. Hey, you know what? If I'm not doing anything, maybe I'll join you. Where are you guys going? Which theater?
I'm not sure. I'll let you know.
All right.
I'll let you know. Man, that's going to be... I can just... You know, stuff like...
He's going to be like Sound and Fury, signifying nothing.
Yeah. So there's a Thor's new hammer. What was it? Stormbreaker. From
the comics.
His new axe. Can also open the Bifrost.
Mm-hmm.
My friend Scott is going to be like, I don't even know what the hell a Bifrost is. What the hell is this? You know? So, but we'll get to that tomorrow.
Doctor Strange got a lot of...
Okay, so that's a good... So there's two... Well, you go ahead and say what you want to say about Doctor Strange.
He got a lot of time. He was pretty integral to this one.
Do you think he was under...
The two characters...
valued?
Well, him... Maybe, but I was going to say the two characters who were holding on to Infinity Stones seemed to really get a lot of time in this movie.
But both, I think, so he's talking about obviously Vision and Doctor Strange. Mm-hmm. Both were kind of underplayed.
Yeah.
Vision should have been able to wreck people.
I think Vision should have been able to roll up. Yeah, I guess it's in service to the script, but yeah. I mean, there's so many moving parts. I get the only a lot of people have been kind of criticizing, you know, the writing and having Peter Quill basically ruin the entire plan. Like they're this close to beating Thanos. And then because he's always been so level-headed and not impulsive at all in the previous films.
I don't understand the criticism. People that are criticizing it as being out of character. I don't know. I think that was actually pretty well within character.
No, actually, that's exactly the kind of thing he would have done.
He's a hothead.
He's always followed his feelings over his head.
Yeah, but then you have Doctor Strange, who, even after making a big deal of saying that he was sworn to protect the stone, even if it meant sacrificing Peter Parker or Tony Stark, he would sacrifice them over the stone. But when the time came, he didn't. He actually he made a deal with Thanos to save Tony Stark's life in exchange for the stone.
Which I take to mean in whatever strand of the future that he saw where they actually have a chance against Thanos, maybe Tony Stark was integral. He's got to survive.
So and it also
Doctor Strange knows more than anyone else in the movie.
14 million different futures. He's the one, and I think we can infer that Tony Stark had to be alive for that one to work. And it also introduces, going back to the very beginning of the movie, one of the themes that comes up over and over and over again is the old Star Trek II motif of, is it worth sacrificing one for the good of the many? And over and over again, Thanos puts
it's basically the theme of this film.
So right off at the very beginning, Loki has to decide to give Thanos the stone, the space stone, or he's gonna kill Thor. And Loki gets out of making that decision because Hulk comes in. And then, Gamora asks Peter Quill to kill her to prevent her from giving information. Doctor Strange has to save Tony Stark by giving up the stone.
Scarlet Witch is forced to decide whether or not to kill Vision.
And that was one of the most and so this will kind of tie us into the end of the movie. And actually Thanos' entire argument. So I'm kind of jumping between two different things here.
Sure.
So Scarlet Witch is her big moment was having to decide to kill her Vision by destroying the Mind Stone, and which ended up killing him. And it was gut wrenching. She actually made the decision to do it, and then Thanos
all
just
for naught.
walked up.
Reverse time.
Yeah, Thanos
He
just
did
said,
the same.
Nope.
He did the same trick that Doctor Strange used at the end of Doctor Strange.
Yeah, and then she had to watch. She had to not only know that she killed her lover for no reason, she had to watch somebody else come in and kill him again. It'd be like at the end of Superman spins the Earth backwards, saves Lois's life,
and then
somebody comes along and goes, BAM!
So then you just spin the Earth backwards.
Yeah. But then it goes into the whole thing with Thanos was this Thomas Malthus argument of if you let people reproduce infinitely, everybody will suffer. And
this was a little different. Because if I remember correctly, in the comics, Thanos' reason for wanting to kill half the universe had nothing to do with overpopulation. It was to impress death. The cosmic personification of death, the cosmic entity, which they didn't really touch on. I wonder if that's even gonna pop up.
But especially for this movie and the themes of this movie of sacrifice, this was the right approach to take.
I guess.
If this entire thing was done because he had a crush, it would cheapen the whole. But
I don't know, like half exactly, huh? Half exactly, and the problem's solved.
But the idea.
I mean, how long is it going to take to repopulate those planets from 50?
Well,
I don't know. I'm overthinking it.
If he's
whatever,
around.
it doesn't matter.
But it at least gave him a logic, and it gave him a compelling you could understand that in his mind,
he thought he was a good guy.
Yeah.
He's like, every guy's the protagonist of his own story.
Yeah, he's like, man, I killed half the universe, but the other half is going to prosper.
At least for a while. A couple generations, and then what, he'll have to do it again?
Yeah.
Or is he going to or is he like, I did it, someone else has to do it this time?
Well, actually that is his approach, because he just wanted it. He wasn't killing for the sake of killing. He was killing for the sake of making things better for everybody else.
Just like, where did he come up? Why did it have to be half exactly?
Because it sounds good.
I guess so.
3/4.
It's nice and
3/4 doesn't work.
Yeah, saying like I got to kill 22.8% of the population just doesn't have the same ring to it.
And now we'll get into the very end. Very Last Jedi, the heroes fail and everything they're trying to do.
I'd say worse than The Last Jedi, because they at least had some hope.
Yeah.
This is just like
hopeless.
We lost. Half the Earth is dead.
Thor gets Stormbreaker. He gets to Thanos. He's like, I just killed you. You've got my axe buried in your chest. And Thanos says, you should have gone
for the head.
Should have gone for the head. And then
the brain, man, the brain. Yeah, he snaps his finger, and then half of all life in the universe is dead.
What do you? But
it doesn't happen all in the blink of an eye.
How do you think the conversation goes when they're pitching this movie, when they're pitching the concept, and they say, we're going to actually have him snap his fingers, and half of the universe is going to end? You think any execs at Disney were like, nah, you can't do that. Nah.
You know what? I think they've kind of learned to trust these guys at this point. I think these execs are like, probably a little. They're probably not too eager to second guess these guys because they're the golden goose.
Yeah, man.
That just keeps laying those golden eggs.
And I hope they keep doing it. So, I brought this out yesterday. This was the poster from the fan screening, and if you go, gone, he good. Wong just kind of bailed. He's just like, I'm chilling at home.
Oh, he had to go to protect one of the other Sanctum Sanctorums. That was what he said. He's like, that was it. You didn't see him anymore.
Hey man, if Hulk ain't showing up for the rest of this, I'm good. I'm out. Peace out, bro. Doctor Strange gone, and we'll talk a couple theories about Doctor Strange here in a minute. Tony Stark, Iron Man, he's good. Thor stays. Captain America survived. Black Widow survived. Spider-Man, really, like I heard kids behind us like Spider-Man dying really.
Oh yeah. I think a lot of these people have never read a comic book before.
Yeah, but especially the kids. War Machine makes it. Peter Quill disappears. He's gone. Gamora dies early in the movie. That's how they actually get the Soul Stone. I keep calling him Baptista. Drax gone. Mantis gone. Rocket Raccoon survives. Groot gone. Hulk, he survives. Well,
he's hiding. He's still sulking inside of Bruce Banner.
Bruce Banner survives, but the Hulk is gone. Winter Soldier gone. Shuri, I can assume she survives because they didn't
show it. If they didn't show it, you would probably assume
Okoye survives. Black Panther gone.
Dead.
Man, that tells me that they did not realize how much money Black Panther was going to make. if they knew what the Black Panther movie was going to do,
don't worry, they'll be back.
Yeah. Falcon gone. Nebula survived. Scarlet Witch and Vision gone. Like half. It was out of the 23
and
heroes.
Here's the thing.
And then you still got Loki, Heimdall.
Half the Asgardians.
Yeah.
Well, and not only that, but this isn't just on Earth. This was the universe. Yeah. Half of all life in the universe is gone. So, I'm sure, this is going to have ramifications in, they'll probably show other worlds going through the same thing.
Yeah. Just kudos to them. And
what about, you know what really got me was Peter crying and begging, just like a scared teenager not wanting to die and being held.
And then right before he actually disappeared, he kind of accepted what was happening at the very end, and it was
But he had a panic attack, like the way a young person would.
He's a teenager.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That one was pretty powerful.
And then you get to see the effect on Tony Stark and and how Robert Downey Jr. played it, and that was really good. But man, it just when it actually I'm watching the movie last night, and Thor kills. It looks like Thor killed Thanos, and I thought, this is
the music gave it away though.
This is how it's going to end, and then it went into that, and I'm like, what just happened?
Were you a little shell shocked?
Yeah, that is honestly how I felt the first time I saw it.
Did you leave the theater in a daze?
Yeah. There's a saying, 1 death is a tragedy, 100 deaths is a statistic.
As soon as they started puffing away as ashes, you knew what was happening.
Yeah, and it was too much to react to. The second time watching it, I had a little bit more got a little more choked up knowing what was coming.
Did you mention Nick Fury and Maria Hill?
Yeah,
both of them gone.
Both of them gone. So it's like over half of over half of the MCU heroes were wiped out in this movie. So no more complaints about Marvel not having any stakes.
Well, the thing is these people aren't going to stay dead.
Yeah. Now,
I don't know if you know anything about the original Infinity War storyline, but here's I'll give you a spoiler. They come back to life.
So the question is going to be how they come back to life.
Well, here's the thing: is it's going to be a long time. You know, it's going to be quite a stretch between this movie and the next Avengers movie.
A year.
Yeah, but still, that's a long time.
Yeah.
You know, that's a long time to.
And they didn't pull the Batman v Superman, where they told us at the end of the movie that Superman survived, right?
Yeah.
There's no dirt. There's no blowing dirt to show that Winter Soldier's coming back.
Now, to somebody who doesn't have comic book nerd friends to tell them about all this that's happened, people who only know these stories from the MCU, I'm sure a lot of them were way worse shell shocked than we were.
Yeah.
I'm sure it probably. I'm sure there's a lot of parents wondering how they're going to explain this to their kids. There's a lot of crying and unhappy kids in the theater we were at. That was a sullen theater.
Yeah. And I mentioned this to you earlier,
and I'm laughing.
Both showings. Usually in a big blockbuster like this, there's usually applause at the end of a movie. At the end of this, you could hear a pin drop, other than sniffles.
Hell, even that baby that was crying behind us stopped crying.
Yeah. Oh, that was awful.
Yeah.
Oh man, but
if you're gonna
where do you kind of put, for initial reaction, where do you kind of put this in an MCU ranking?
Oh, I still probably like Civil War and Winter Soldier a little better, but this movie's just stuffed to the gills.
Yeah,
it's just so much to process. It had to happen, and it's the culmination of everything, but man, it's just a lot to digest.
It is.
It's up there. It's definitely one of the better ones. I definitely want to, I don't want to see where they go in the next one.
And I was about to say that. You can't really evaluate. It's hard to evaluate this movie without seeing the second one.
It's not really a feel-good movie. It's of all the MCU movies, it's the least.
It bitch slapped your feel-good movie.
Oh yeah, it said it
snapped its fingers, and your feel-good movie went hiding with Hulk and Diane Wong. But so I'm my initial reaction is this is the greatest superhero movie ever made. It is a singular accomplishment that makes Avengers or even Civil War pale in comparison.
Okay.
Kind of in the same, but just like Apocalypse Now, I can recognize as a great movie and a great accomplishment. I don't care to watch it again.
I like it. I'll watch it a bunch.
Yeah.
I think just structure-wise, and there was nothing they could do about this, I like the movies where the characters get a little elbow room and a little time to breathe and be themselves.
There was no time.
No.
But how do you breathe when Thanos is
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying story-wise, structure-wise, that's what I prefer.
Honestly, now that you say that, it kind of makes me appreciate if there was a moment where they were just kind of chilling and eating shawarma, it would kind of lessen the stakes.
Yeah.
So for those of you that ever play Skyrim or any video game where the world might end but you have side quests, there's a moment where you realize, man, there's a world-devouring dragon on the loose, and I'm trying to find somebody's lost wedding ring. And it just kind of wrecks the whole story.
No, I get it.
There were no side quests in this movie.
This movie, everything that happened in this movie, happened for a reason.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, as a personal matter, I wouldn't rank it at the very top for the simple fact that I like the smaller moments in my superhero movies.
Yeah.
And this didn't really have many of those at all.
So, there's so many more things to talk about, but we're pushing 30 plus 30.
As far as spectacle goes, this is unmatched.
And there's no until the next Avengers movie comes out, there is no other movie to compare this to. It's.
We talked about this briefly after the movie. I don't think there's another superhero movie where they just lose.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah.
So
it's never happened before in this genre.
So what Waylon was saying is, in any superhero, all the Batman movies, Superman movies, the hero ultimately prevails. Bad guy is either killed or in jail or flees, retreats. This is the first superhero genre movie
with the villain triumphant.
With the triumphant villain.
Mm-hmm. It's never been done before in film.
If anybody can think of one that we're missing, leave it in the comments. But I think you're right. I think it's the first.
No, it hasn't been. They've never done that because I don't think they've ever done this multi-part story like that.
Yeah. So just and real quick, but before we totally wrap this up, I was asking you earlier, like where you would put Thanos in terms of all-time movie villains.
Oh, way up there. Definitely better than the last several Marvel villains.
Can we agree before this that the top two are Darth Vader and Heath Ledger's Joker?
I guess, yeah. He's easily one of the top superhero movie villains.
Yeah.
I just like Josh Brolin. He's a good actor.
Kudos to Josh Brolin, man. That dude's got some movies coming out this year.
He doesn't chew scenery either. He acts. It's good.
So just a roller coaster ride, just a thrill ride.
If you like superhero movies, you're gonna love this movie. Yeah. If you don't like superhero movies, you probably won't. But it's everything you like about those other movies, just more of it.
Yeah, and on a lot more. So, as always, like and subscribe to see more discussions. Next video that's going to be coming out is going to be a review of Avengers Infinity War with somebody who has never
seen an MCU
like the
movie.
Absolute opposite of this guy.
Yeah.
So be watching for that later this weekend.
That should be good.
Leave your comments below. Like, what were your favorite parts? What you didn't like? Who your favorite characters were? Maybe do ranking of your top 5, at least 5 characters in the movie. And thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and get on the bandwagon.